In a post that is still up on Facebook, though it appears to be deleted on Twitter, liberal media outlet Occupy Democrats wrote, quote, Jeffrey Epstein may have been an evil predator, but he was a perceptive judge of Donald Trump's character. This is based off a story from the Washington Press that was linked in the posts.
In the linked article, Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, alleges that Jeffrey broke off his friendship with Trump after deciding the former president is a crook. Donald Trump has been accused of partaking in Epstein's services, including allegedly connecting wealthy men with young female victims, according to the Washington Press. So
Robby,
go ahead.
This reminds me of that meme, you don't under any circumstances have to hand it to Jeffrey Epstein. But this just shows the brain worms and the rot that has taken hold on the left. If you can use it to attack Trump, it doesn't matter if you're defending a pedophile. Go for it. The person who wrote this clearly thought that they were going to get a lot of attaboy and retweets and so forth, right? If you can use it to attack Trump, go ahead and defend the pedophiles. That seems to be, is that what happened here?
Yeah, it's that line from The Big Lebowski. Say what you will about the tenets of National Socialism. At least it's an ethos. Unbelievable. Occupy Democrats is probably the most brain-broken social media account there is. So not kind of surprising to see that, but look, you could do it the other way. You could say one of the things that is bad about Donald Trump is that he showed bad judgment toward who is of good character, including by at least initially there's a debate over how long he had any kind of association with him, but he did meet with him, including his association with Jeffrey Epstein. Now this is an association that also, as it turns out, calls into question the judgment of so many political and Hollywood figures, including the Clintons, including very notably Bill Gates, who had, as we've discussed on the show, I've been shocked and appalled at how long the association went on, even after he was already had been arrested and incarcerated or put under house arrest for sex crimes with minors. And then he's still able to get people like Bill Gates on the phone. It's just disgusting. It's so gross. So you can malign, it's totally fair to malign Trump for that. I don't think Trump is a particularly good judge of character. He proved that in many cases with the kinds of people he picked for his administration who ended up trying to undermine him and then saying bad things about him. So fine, go, use the Trump-Epstein connection to badmouth Trump. Don't use it to rehabilitate Epstein. Well, at least there's that good thing about him. It's so backward. It shows, like you said, the kind of brain brokenness here.
No, absolutely. And, the point about Epstein, I think that's important to make is, it was a lot like, the moral panic in the 80s, right? Where they were sort of, chasing after these kindergarten teachers and accusing them of molesting children. And then the moral panic around satanic practices, right? These kids playing Dungeons and Dragons, like our own beloved Robby Soave, in their basements, and got accused of these heinous crimes. And it was like, guess what? Those heinous crimes were actually happening in the Catholic Church down the road, where everybody was praying and getting high on their own morality, right? Those sex crimes against children were happening, but just not where they said it was happening. And I feel very similarly around the media's obsession with QAnon. It's died down a little bit, but especially towards the end of the Trump administration, they were obsessed with QAnon, which is of course this batch. I'm sorry, excuse me, a conspiracy theory that Democrats are all pedophiles and Donald Trump is waging this holy war against them, right? That's not true. But what is true is that, yes, there was a pedophile who was arranging for encounters with young girls, vulnerable girls, with some of the biggest people in Democratic politics, and they never got that kind of hearing, in the mainstream media. So I think it's really important that we, pay attention to these things. Yes, QAnon was wrong, right? But something horrible was happening right beneath our noses and was not getting that attention. And I can't talk about QAnon without mentioning one of Donald Trump's funniest moments, which was, I don't know if you remember this, Robby, but a reporter asked him, Mr. President, are you aware of this conspiracy theory called QAnon? And President Trump was like, no, what is it? And he was like, well, it's this idea that, there's, the Democrats are a group of pedophiles and you're waging this war and you're going to vanquish them in the end. Do you condemn this conspiracy theory? And President Trump went, wait, I'm fighting the pedophiles? Isn't that a good thing? Which was just, perfect. Like he really had a way of dealing with that kind of question.
Right. There was another time where he talked about it where he was like, well, they all like me, right? The QAnon people. Right. Why would I condemn them? They all like me. Which sometimes from the mouths of babes, Trump had that way of just kind of saying what he was thinking that other political figures don't often do because they're a little bit more scripted than our former POTUS. But there you have it. At least according to Occupy Democrats, he didn't get the Jeffrey Epstein endorsement. So, game, set, match. That's it for that. More Rising right after this.